What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. Two names we should look out for ahead of the 2023 season training camp for the Clippers. Two names I think we need to really look at and look out for in regards to, how they pan out and how their value goes up or down for the Clippers going through the season. Now, the two names that I speak of specifically, I speak of one in Moses Brown. They acquired Moses Brown in the offseason as one of their big men along with the, Zubac, just to have a little bit more depth in that area. Me personally, if I'm the Clippers, I personally would go after another big man if I could, or maybe possibly look into and getting another big man if I could, because I really don't know much about Moses Brown. And honestly, I really don't know if many people do. Not saying that the guy's not talented, not saying that he doesn't have some type of, specialty that he can give the Clippers in regards to, or, what he can provide. But only thing I can see that he could really provide for the Clippers at this point is really just size in the paint. And, that's pretty much it. Maybe get a couple rebounds, something like that. It's really not nothing expected of Moses Brown. And the fact that when I've looked at a lot of Dallas Mavericks games, especially since they play the Clippers a lot, seem to be, especially whether the playoffs or regular season, I haven't seen them play Moses Brown ever. And that concerns me a lot, because I've never even watched him on the floor with the Dallas Mavericks or any other previous team he might have been with before the Dallas, which it couldn't have been many, because he's a young player still, so he hasn't really experienced a lot. So this is my point. Like, we really don't know what we're getting out of a player like him, and that's the mentality the Clippers really have to have with this young guy. Even though he shows a little bit of promise, shows some talent, he's got some good size. He's about 7 feet, of course. From what I saw, a couple videos I saw, on his game, he moves his feet pretty decently well. And he's not, scared to go up and contest anybody that comes into the paint to try to block their shot. So I definitely like the energy in regards to that. It's always good to have an energetic guy, who's willing to play the game, that way and have that type of mindset. So that's definitely a good thing. And I think that's one reason why the Clippers really actually wanted to, go forward with this kid, because they like the fact of, his energy and how he, plays whenever he does get minutes available to come on the court and actually, play basketball. So, I mean, if the Clippers are going off that trajectory, then yeah, okay, maybe they might have something with this kid if they could just get him to come off the bench and contribute some, not have too many high expectations of him, not too high, not too low, just kind of stay even keel with this kid and see what he gives you. Now, the other name that we need to look out for ahead of the 2023 season and going into training camp is Amir Coffey. Now, Amir Coffey, we know about him. If you're a Clippers fan, or if you watched the Clippers last season, especially, with Kawhi being out all season and Paul George being out half the season just about, you saw that Amir Coffey was one of those names that, popped up, on your screen or across your screen a few games last season, scoring over 30 points a few games last season for the Clippers. I mean, he really actually played well for the Clippers, and nobody knew who this guy was. Not even nobody really even on the Clippers knew who this guy was in regards to what he can give the Clippers if he's, able to go out there and play. And this guy came out there and scored 30 points at least 3 or 4 games I looked at last year, and really actually helped the Clippers be a lot better of a team, because he gave them some stability on the offensive end, and he also contributed a little bit on the defensive end. He wasn't scared on defense. He played defense. He wasn't great at it, but he wasn't bad at it either. So he definitely is a player that I feel like they can use as a secret weapon for them, because nobody's really going to think that this kid is going to come out there and ball out the way that he did, especially not another season. But it's very possible that he can do that, because what we saw from him last year was a surprise for us. Nobody saw that coming. Nobody really knew who Amir Coffey was. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't a high draft pick. He wasn't like, a top number 1, top 2 pick or something like that coming out of college or anything, but he shows a lot of value. And honestly, when we watched him play last year, he showed that he had a lot of value for the Clippers, and he was a very valuable piece to them in regards to them sustaining their season, making it to the play-in tournament. He played some big games. He scored when he was asked to, and whatever Ty Lue needed him to do, he did it at a high level, and that was really impressive, to Ty Lue. I think that's the reason why they gave him, that contract, I think $11 million contract, because they can foresee some good in this kid. You see what I'm saying? So, and I'm not saying he's going to come off the bench and score 15 points a game or something like that, because the Clippers have so much depth. They don't even really need that from Amir Coffey. Whenever he's in there, they just need him to score around 5 to 8 points, somewhere, or should I say 5 to 10 points while he's in there. Just be productive. If he's productive, then he can definitely help them, and that's all they really need out of him, just to be productive. And they can get productiveness out of him because, as you see, if he can score 30 points on multiple games last year when given a few opportunities, he can definitely score a lot of points, if he's in there for a substantial amount of time, if need be. So, there's definitely somebody they feel like they should be able to rely on off the bench. And to be honest with you, that gives the Clippers a real huge advantage, because he's one of the guys that was far down on the bench, at the bottom of the bench, and he can come in there and give you points like that and play to that type level in an NBA game against real NBA professionals. That says a lot about, what Amir Coffey can do and what type of upside he can have in regards to his future. Because, it's not many players that can come off the bottom of the bench of any team that can go out there and give you 20 plus, 30 plus points in 3 or 4 or 5 games back to back. The way he did. He scored 30 plus points like 2 or 3 straight games, and then he had a couple of 10, 12, 14 point games, in between, and then I think he scored like another 30 point game, in between that. So, to have somebody off the bottom of your bench who can come in and contribute like that, the Clippers are definitely in good hands, or at least they feel like they are. So, the rivalry between them and the Lakers definitely should be uplifted, especially with Kawhi and everybody coming back, and along with some of these reserves and guys they have coming off the bench. You definitely want to keep an eye on them going forward to see how they prosper and see how they grow with this team and how they can really be utilized in big moments and big situations. And I personally think Amir Coffey could be one of those players that could be utilized in a big situation, because he's not afraid of the moment and he can knock down shots. He is a pretty decent 3-point shooter. He shot near 37%, at one point of the season last year. I don't know what he ended up with specifically, but he shot pretty well for the Clippers from the 3-point line, at least for a stint. And then, like I say, he seems like an all-around scorer to me. He seems like somebody who can just put the ball in the basket, and that's what they need. And if they can get that out of him, consistently, and get a little bit out of Moses Brown, in regards to the center position, well, they'll definitely be in good hands in regards to having extra scoring and extra size in the paint where they can utilize to their advantage against any opponent that they play against. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check my other videos if you haven't. And hey, Khaliis out.